Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Doctors in Afghanistan say that many children may have been killed in Wednesday's earthquake. More than 1,000 people died in the disaster and heavy rain. Unknown numbers were buried in the rubble by the magnitude 6.1 earthquake. The Taliban authorities have called for more international aid, while communication networks have also been badly hit. The United Nations is among those scrambling to provide emergency shelter and food aid to remote areas in the worst-hit Paktika province. Even before the Taliban takeover, Afghanistan's emergency services were stretched to deal with natural disasters, with few aircraft and helicopters available to rescuers. Ukraine is set to be approved as an EU candidate at a Brussels summit after a European Commission gave the green light. Ukraine applied days after the Russian invasion in February, and the process has since moved at a record speed. Its ambassador to the EU said it would be a psychological boost for Ukrainians. Candidate status is the first official step towards EU membership, and France said this week there was a total consensus on Ukraine. But it can take many years to join, and there's no guarantee of success. Myanmar's deposed pro-democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been moved from house arrest to solitary confinement in a prison in the capital Naypyidaw.
Yet it is of the utmost importance.
The 77-year-old Nobel laureate was arrested when the military ousted her elected government in February 2021. For the past year, she has been held at an undisclosed location in the capital. Ms. Suu Kyi has already been sentenced to 11 years in jail and faces a host of other charges. She denies all of the allegations against her. The final part of a mammoth report into alleged corruption in South Africa under former President Jacob Zuma has been handed to his successor, Cyril Ramaphosa. It was all smiles and laughs at the official handing over of the report, but the contents are far more serious. Within the 5,000 pages written by Judge Raymond Zond, the report describes how the country's coffers were looted by its former president and his associates, the prominent Gupta brothers. It also accuses Zuma of halting an investigation into alleged financial misdeeds by the Guptas. They and Mr. Zuma deny any wrongdoing. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said he would defend his government's immigration partnership with Rwanda if the heir to the British throne, Prince Charles, were to raise it with him when the two meet. British newspapers have reported that Prince Charles has privately criticised the plans. Boris Johnson has been in Kigali for a meeting of Commonwealth leaders, where he met with Rwandan President Paul Kagame to speak about the partnership. Earlier this year, Britain struck a £120 million deal with Rwanda to deport asylum seekers to the East African country. It has been criticised by opponents, charities and religious leaders who say it is inhumane.
I think that, anybody who comes in, I'm delighted that all the Prince Charles and everybody is here today to see a country that is, I think, undergone a complete transformation, or a very, very substantial transformation. And
are you going to defend the policy should he raise it?
I think that people need to keep an open mind about the policy. The critics need to keep an open mind about it. I think a lot of people can see its obvious merits. And yeah, of course, if I'm seeing the Prince tomorrow, of course I'm going to make that point.
Thousands of indigenous people have protested in Ecuador's capital city, Quito, demanding the president address the sharp rise in fuel and food prices. The country has been gripped by protests for 10 days. Nationwide, 114 police officers have been injured and 104 people detained. The demonstrations are longer lasting and larger than marches over fuel prices in October last year. The protests are testing President Guillermo Lasso's ability to restart the economy. And finally, a drone has flown over Italy's longest river, revealing a large sandy area where the river once was. The Po is experiencing its worst drought for 70 years, leaving many sections of the vast northern waterway completely dried up, jeopardizing irrigation and worrying locals. The 652-kilometre-long stretch runs across the entire Po Valley from west to east and holds the record for the largest river basin in Italy, with approximately 71,000 square kilometres of surface area. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.